Hello Earthlings and aliens, I hope you're all having a great time out there. Today I want to talk about this computer program that helps me out a whole heck of a lot when it comes to making music. I am talking of course about none other than Buzz by Jeskola. The short version of why it's so awesome is because it is free and it outperforms every other free option that you have available for making music. Although it is so powerful, some are kind of turned off by the interface and by how seemingly difficult it is to make music that sounds good in the program, but I want to show you how that is very much so not the case. Let's back up here. Let's give you a little bit of background about Buzz before we move forward. Originally developed in 1997, Buzz started out as a much simpler tracker-style program. If you're not familiar with what a tracker is, don't worry, we're going to touch on that before the video's over. So in the 90s, it was pretty simple, but then as Buzz took off and it got more updates, it basically turned into an absolute powerhouse of music production. In 2008, there was a complete overhaul of the entire program. They made a new version of Buzz, and this version has been getting updates ever since, steadily becoming more and more powerful. The most recent overhaul actually fixed a lot of the old bugs and crashes that made Buzz frustrating to use. So if you've used Buzz in the past and you got frustrated, I definitely recommend you give it another try. I know I'm really gushing about this computer program right now. I think it would be a good time to mention this video is not sponsored in any way. I'm not getting paid by Buzz. I just really like the program. It's what I've been using to make my music for about 15 years now. So you could say that I'm pretty serious about being a Buzz user. And I'm very excited to teach other people about Buzz too, because it's a really great program and I don't really see a lot of other people out there using it. Why do I use Buzz instead of other, more regular, more traditional DAWs? Again, one of the biggest and coolest reasons is that it is free and it is also open source. So in my opinion, Buzz is much better than every other free option that you have available for a DAW or any other sort of music making program. In terms of creative flexibility, you can get pretty much so whatever sound that you want to out of Buzz. There is a lot of expanded functionality. Since Buzz is an open source program, that means that anybody can download the source code, anybody can modify it, make changes to it, release their own version if they want to, and that also means that a lot of the instruments and effects that you have available to play with inside of Buzz are also user-created content, and some of them are really rather quite good. And if you didn't catch the very cool implication here, that also means that if you are handy with computer coding, then you can also expand the functionality of Buzz to meet your own needs. It's not something I see a lot out there in the world of professional music making applications. Personally, I know a little bit of computer coding stuff, but not really enough to make myself useful as far as developing my own software to help out Buzz, which would be in the form of an instrument plugin, an effect plugin, maybe just some other kind of patch that does like a job, like a utility function kind of thing. There are members of the Buzz community who are also great programmers and have contributed so much to making the program what it is today. And although it's a pretty old program, there's still very active forums out there. It's still really easy to post a question and get some help within the next few days. It is admittedly a smaller community, but there are a lot of old school power users who stay very active over there in the forums, and they can give you some really good guidance. So that's it for the introduction. Now I'm going to meet you over there inside of Buzz and show you the rest of why this program is so cool. So here we are inside of Buzz. This is the first screen that you will come to when you open up the program. Basically, this entire big open field here is where we're going to put all of our instruments and all of our effects and route them together in the proper order. Over here on the right hand side is a list of all of our instruments and effects. There's a few options up here at the top. So if the generator is what they refer to the instruments as. It generates a sound, so it's a generator. Over here you have effects. So now it changes the list to only the effects that we have loaded. You're going to see a lot more over here on my screen than you're going to see on your own screen when you first download the program, because it comes with a certain collection of instruments and effects. A lot of these that you see here on my screen are actually downloaded. So we'll just give you a visual on how this looks and how this works really quick. I picked this one here. It's the Guru 4. Decent sounding synthesizer. It's just as easy as that. You just drag it over here. You can add multiple instances if you want to. Just close it out with a little X in the corner. This line and the arrow denotes that it's connected from the Guru 4 over here to the master, and the arrow points in the direction that the audio signal is traveling. So let's go over here and let's pick an effect to go with that. Let's see. Just pick something, anything here. I want to put some reverb on it. Let's do reverb. Search bar here, notice that too. Sonic Verb is a good simple reverb. You can drag it over here and just make sure your cursor is right on top of that arrow, and then let it go. And then it will apply the Sonic Verb or the S verb right into your effect chain like that. Or you can add it just like you added the instrument, and it just comes in there by itself. But you'll notice, since this is an effect and not an instrument, it doesn't auto-connect to the master machine, right? So in order to do that on your own, it's just as simple as Shift, left-click, drag, and then you noticed me undo it there too. You can right-click on this arrow, and there's a little menu that pops up. So you can either turn it up or down in volume, you can pan it left or right, or you can choose to disconnect it with the scissors. Okay, we don't need the second reverb. Let's close that out. Now I want to show you how some of this sounds. We want to keep our volume kind of low to start with, because Buzz has a bad habit of ruining your ears with very loud sounds. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we make these machines actually start to make some noise. And we do that by going up here to the pattern view. You see how this switches everything. These three little icons right here are the most important as far as which part of the Buzz workflow you are currently doing. So this is the pattern editor. This is where we tell the instruments what notes to play. This is also where we will tell the effects where to change and how to automate, but we'll touch on that more later. Anyway, over here on the far left, you're able to enter in notes. Each letter on your keyboard also corresponds to a different musical note. So we can push our letters over here and they turn into notes in the pattern. Check this out. There you go. So we have an E, a G, and a B. It will make an E minor triad when we play it all together. Now all that we have to do, now that we have a pattern over here for the Guru 4, we go over here to the sequence view. And this gives you a timeline of when all of those patterns happen. So currently we only have one pattern and we only have one machine. So let's just hit play on this. We can just hit play and it will do the magic automatically for us. And there you go. Remember how I said earlier that Buzz is a tracker program and that I would explain what that meant later on? Well, here we go. The sequence editor makes it a lot more apparent as to why it's called a tracker and what exactly that means, what it does. So allow me to demonstrate. Let's say that we had a few other instruments in our mix here, right? Let's pop back over to this machine view really quick. Let's click over here so it shows us generators. Search for the Guru. Let's just put a few more instances of the Guru 4 over here, right? Then we'll connect them. That's shift click and drag. Now let's see what we have. Over here in the pattern editor, you can see we have two more tracks. Each one of these tracks in the pattern editor corresponds to a generator or an instrument in the machine view, right? And then all of these, well, I mean, there's one of them right now, but we can make some more patterns to go in here too, right? Let's go over here. A shortcut here is you can double click, or you can also select where you want to be and hit enter, right? So we'll go over here to this one and we'll do just another different pattern. Let's just get here the pattern properties, change the name, call this number 01. Go like this. Oops. Okay. So there's another pattern, and we can add that on the second track, and they play together. Very cool. And likewise, we can do that. And likewise, we can do that with the third instance. Just to, I mean, I'm not even going to put anything here. I'm just demonstrating, so we won't go too crazy. Let's call this something different. All right, so now all three of our tracks here, they all have patterns, right? Let's say we want to make a second pattern for all of these, right? And there's a shortcut to this for your keyboard. So you can just go Control Shift Enter, and it creates a copy of the pattern, right? I'm just doing this so I can kind of populate that pattern, populate the sequence view, and have you see visually what I mean, right? So now we have a pattern number 1, 2, 3. Just repeat the whole sequence again. Just like that. And then watch what happens here. We have to change the length of our loop, right? So we just Control E. That's Control B starts the beginning of the loop. And then Control E sets the endpoint for the loop, right? And you'll watch as it plays. It will play all of that chunk. And then it will start over again, right? We can kind of do the same with our other tracks here. I'm just playing around here. Now we have more copies there. Now we can kind of go in between everyone. Like this. So hopefully you get the hang of how the whole thing works with the machine view, the pattern view, and the sequencer view. This is how you go about composing music in Buzz. This is how you go about composing music in a tracker. It's all about these tracks and the patterns that you arrange on the tracks. There's a little bit more to this interface. It's more than I want to teach in just this first video. So we're definitely going to come back at some point and go a little bit more in depth here. One more thing I'd like to point out that's pretty cool in Buzz too is that it has full support for VST plugins. Those are instruments or effects that you can download, whether they're free or whether you pay some money. They will extend the functionality of your music making software. I did a previous video on VST plugins and especially which free VST plugins are good to download, and I gave a few examples on which ones I like for starting out. I'll link to the video here. I have to warn you, I made it a while back and my video quality was not as great back then. So there's my disclaimer. Hopefully you check that out and enjoy it. I want to show you just in real time what I mean though. You see, these ones are Buzz native instruments and effects. They also call them Buzz machines. And when you click on them, double click on them, it brings up this list of parameters, right? So that's how loud the oscillators are, how much it's detuned, all sorts of different properties here that give you control over how this Guru 4 synthesizer sounds, which is pretty cool. But the VST plugins give you this entire graphical user interface that is very helpful for dialing in your sounds. Generally, right out of the box, they just come a lot better sounding than the native Buzz instruments do, so it's easier for you to just open one up and get some good sounds out of it. It's easy for you to dial in a good tone by starting in at a preset and then just modifying the sound a little bit to make it original. So I'll just load in a VST really quick here and show you. This one is the DSK acoustic keys. Let's connect that to our master machine. Remember, these don't make any sound unless you connect them to the master. So there we go. Again, that's shift click. Let's double click on this DSK acoustic keys. See how it has this nice, slick, graphical user interface? It's much nicer than if you compare it to the native Buzz format, right? I think that this one over here on the right-hand side, you have a lot more of an opportunity as a beginner to learn visually and to have it make a lot more sense and be a lot less frustrating. The VSTs also have the advantage of being able to preview what it sounds like right here from this window. And how you do that is just play the corresponding letters on your keyboard that corresponds to a musical keyboard. More about this later. Anyway. Sounds pretty nice. And we can change how it sounds over here. It has different pianos. You have different kinds of reverb options. You can mix a bunch more reverb in there. Reverb size. And so on. See, this one doesn't have any cool presets though. Let's load one that does have cool presets. Search over here for Mini Moog. This is also a free plugin too, so if you like these plugins that I'm showing you here, you can download these for free also. Quick Google search will get you where you want to go. This is the Mini Moog. It models the classic Moog synthesizers that a lot of old progressive rock bands would use, right? And this one comes with a bunch of presets. See, check out. If I can keep the menu open, okay. We have all of these different presets to work with. So you can just pick one that you like. That's pretty cool, but let's say you want to tweak it and make it your own. So we can just change a few things. I mean, literally, the possibilities here are endless. You can start at any one of these presets and just tweak a few knobs, make it your own, customize it to sound how you like it to sound, and that's all there is to it. That's literally as easy as it is to get started playing around in Jeskola Buzz and making some noise for absolutely free. You will not need to spend a single red cent to do all of this that I just showed you. So please stay tuned for next time. I would personally really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe and do all that other corny stuff that all the corny YouTube guys always tell you to do. It really helps me out a lot. So thanks for watching. Hope this was useful. Stick around for more content about Jeskola Buzz, more content about making music in general, and more of my own personal annoying sounds that I bring to you in the form of my music and my songs. Check it all out. I got a lot of stuff over here. Hopefully it will take your interest and keep you amused for a while. And that being said, thank you and have fun out there.